It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the three films of the 4th of July weekend 2007. And on this particular week, Transformers comes to life on the big screen through the power of Michael Bay. Robin Williams is a priest who helps to get John Krasinski and Mandy Moore ready for their wedding. And we also have Christian Bale in a new film from Werner Herzog. But before we get to those, let's talk about the biggest new release of the weekend and probably the most anticipated movie of the summer of 2007. In a summer that had a bunch of highly anticipated movies, I don't think anyone was really prepared for themselves when, in the summer of 2006, they were sitting down in the movie theater watching Superman Returns, and then the teaser trailer for one of next summer's biggest blockbusters comes up, and it's this beauty right here. I mean, kind of like with Spider-Man 3, it was what trailer that, everybody had heard about. Nobody had an idea of what was really coming. And we didn't, it is the perfect definition of a teaser trailer because you don't see any of the Transformers in there, but you just saw that they were coming to life in live action form. And you just got the idea that this really is happening. They've been trying to make this movie for several years now, and yet, lo and behold, here it is, and you have Steven Spielberg as one of the producers behind it too. Michael Bay is a director who seems to be pretty primed, no pun intended, for this type of a film. And yeah, the expectation was building up high with every new trailer that had come out at that point, as we slowly but surely got an idea of seeing the Transformers in live action form. And then the movie came out, and then it became one of the biggest hits of the year, and it was a good fun time when I first saw it back in the day. I remember seeing this on opening night when it came out in theaters. I think it was one of the first times I ever went to a late night screening for a movie. I didn't usually go to the movies after 7 o'clock or 7 o'clock like that, unless I had someone with me. So this was my first time going out on my own to see this on the night before. I think it was the Wednesday. It was either the Wednesday or the Tuesday. It had to be Tuesday night when this came out. So I went to see it, and I was really glad I did, because I got to experience something really, really incredible with this film. It stars Shia LaBeouf as Sam Witwicky, a teenager who gets caught up in the war between the heroic Autobots and the evil Decepticons, two factions of shape-shifting alien robots. The Autobots intend to retrieve and use the Allspark, the powerful artifact that creates the robotic race that is on Earth, to rebuild their home planet Cybertron and end the war, while the Decepticons have the intention of using it to build an army to take back their world by giving life to the machines on Earth. And you also have a cast that includes Tyrese Gibson, Josh Duhamel, Anthony Anderson, Rachel Taylor, John Turturro, Jon Voight, Peter Cullen, once again as Optimus Prime. You have Hugo Weaving as Megatron, and of course Megan Fox in this movie, who became a big star with this movie, mostly because of her body. I mean, let's be honest, that's exactly what she became known for. And I mean, I was suckered into it too. I was 18 years old, teenager when I saw this movie, and yeah, how could you not, with the way that she's bent over in some of these scenes? And luckily, she did eventually get better as an actress in some movies, not all of them. We'll delve into those as we go along here. But Jennifer's Body, Friends with Kids, This Is 40, a bunch of other movies I can mention. But in here, for the roles she has to play in here, she's okay. Shia LaBeouf, I think, is okay in the movie too. But really, most of the human characters in here are just kind of nobody really was that impressive overall. In fact, most of the live-action characters in here were pretty much generic and lackluster overall. But really, we all know what we were coming to see these movies for. We wanted to see the robots. We wanted to see the action. We wanted to see Michael Bay blow up stuff. And yeah, this was the time to do this with this particular movie, and we had a great time watching it. I remember myself having a ball watching this movie, even when I watched it at home when it came out on DVD and Blu-ray and watched it on TV all the time. Yeah, it's a movie that is incredibly stupid and ridiculous and over the top at times, but you know what? It's everything you can ask for and then some with a movie. I mean, this is everything you wanted to see in a live-action Transformers movie. It's incredible fun. It's a turn-your-brain-off type of a movie. It isn't dumbing it. It isn't making you stupider like the sequels will later do. Trust me, this series does get stupider as it goes on, and most of these movies that come after this are not good films whatsoever. But this one, we accepted it because, yeah, we had never seen anything like this before. It's a good, fun, over-the-top extravaganza, and this is exactly what you want to see in a live-action Transformers movie. I mean, luckily down the road, they would start giving us really good Transformers movies, but only once you finally got rid of Michael Bay and pushed him off to the side. That's why we got good stuff like Bumblebee and Transformers Rise of the Beast, and just recently, Transformers 1. 3 movies that I think are excellent, excellent movies. Like, those ones are the best ones of the entire series, but I have to give love to the original Transformers movie. It was something new we hadn't seen before. It's a good, fun, over the top summer blockbuster extravaganza. This is the type of movie that you want to see in the summer movie season, and to see this on the biggest screen I could, it was a good fun time all across the board. I love the hell out of this movie. It's good fun all across the board. It still holds up for me after all these years. Yes, there are bad Transformers movies, and we're going to get to them as we move along here, but yeah, this is about as good fun summer popcorn blockbuster fun as you could possibly get. I mean, I saw this movie several times in the movie theaters. It was a good fun time across the board. It was very stupid at times, but god damn it, I loved every single moment of it. I enjoyed the hell out of this film. That's Transformers, so let's go ahead and move on to the movie that had the balls to combat Transformers, the romantic comedy License to Wed, starring Robin Williams, John Krasinski, and Mandy Moore. Movie that doesn't seem like it has a whole lot there in terms of a storyline overall. It's a pretty lame story when you really look at it. Robin Williams plays a reverend who puts an engaged couple through a grueling marriage preparation course to see if they're meant to be married in his church. And yeah, Robin Williams can get some good one-liners here and there, but not gonna lie, this movie was pretty bad. I mean, despite the fact that it had a lot of really good talent all across the board, I mean, Mandy Moore and John Krasinski have proven time and time again that they can be really good actors, but this was back when kind of John Krasinski was seen as kind of like, wasn't seen as the big name that he would eventually become nowadays. Like, he was still just Jim from The Office, and he didn't really do a whole lot in here to kind of distance himself from from Jim from The Office, but nowadays, we now know him for how good he can really be with his work with the Quiet Place movies and most recently If. Mandy Moore is just fine in the movie in particular. There's nothing really that great about her in terms of the character she plays here, but nobody really is given a whole lot to do in terms of being funny overall. You can tell this was directed by somebody who worked on The Office, because not only with John Krasinski, you see a lot of different Office people in this movie. I think Angela's in here. You saw Kevin in here, Brian Baumgartner for the little bit in the trailer, and at times there are some good laughs here and there, but the premise just really feels really stupid and sometimes really creepy. Just the fact that this priest is doing these bizarre things to these married couples to see if they really love each other, just like that feels way too disturbing on a number of different levels. And it's just like, I mean, there could be a good idea for a comedy here, but even Robin Williams, as much as I love him, as much as I love his shtick, it gets really weak in this film and on numerous occasions. And even the funny lines he has in this movie are not enough to save the film overall. And yeah, I was kind of let down by the movie overall. Some good laughs once in a while, but not enough for me to say that this is something that you should see. It's still a pretty bad movie overall. A major letdown overall. I was kind of disappointed by this particular film. So that's License to Wed, so let's go ahead and move on to our last movie, and that's Christian Bale and Werner Herzog's Rescue Dawn. And this is not an action movie, regardless of what that commercial is trying to tell you. This is a war drama, and it's based on the true story of Dieter Dengler, played by Christian Bale, who is a German-American pilot who was shot down and captured by village sympathetic to the Pathet Lao during an American military campaign in the Vietnam War. And you also have Steve Zahn, Jeremy Davies, and Toby Huss. You know, Cotton Hill from King of the Hill is in this movie. I have no idea, but yeah, he's in this film, and yeah, it's hard to believe it. Like, Cotton Hill was actually in a war movie like this, and I'm pretty sure he was in some other war movies too, but I remember watching this for the first time and going like, why does that guy's voice sound familiar? It's just like, oh my god, that's Cotton Hill. That's Cotton Hill. It's just like he's been in some other stuff too. Like, he was the dad in the Weird Al Yankovic movie. He's really funny in that movie, and I did not know this for the longest time, but he was Artie from Pete and Pete, The Adventures of Pete and Pete. I had no idea that the same guy who did the voice of Khan Supanusapon on Cotton Hill was also Artie, and it's just just wow, man. Just the things you know about, just the more you know, and yeah, just crazy stuff in this world. But yeah, this is a really good movie. It's actually a really good war movie, and it works because you buy into the characters that Christian Bale plays, as well as Steve Zahn. Steve Zahn, I think, is very good, too, giving us a more dramatic role than his more comedic appearances that he's in. And yeah, the film's biggest problem, I think, is that they had a hard time really hard to figure out how to sell the movie to people. And yeah, the film wasn't able to make its money back and actually lost money from the DVD rentals and sales. Again, because of bad commercials like that make it seem like it's another generic action movie, like Behind Enemy Lines or something like that. And no, it's not that whatsoever. It's a really good, thought-provoking drama about essentially man versus nature. And once again, Christian Bale giving another really damn good performance and proving that he's not just Batman. He can play other roles and just gives one of these really good, solid performances all across the board. It's a very tense film. It's a really engaging movie. It's a very underrated little gem of a movie that not a lot of people really talk about all that much, but man, you should definitely give it a shot. If you love watching Christian Bale in movies, this is definitely one you have to see. One of his most underrated film roles. I was really glad I got to see him when I did, because I was really impressed by what I saw here. Werner Herzog does a great job directing this. Rescue Dawn. It's a really good movie. I highly recommend checking it out. And so, with all of that said, we wrap up this edition of Time About the Movies. The next time we meet, the summer movie season continues to roll along with the next installment of the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. We also have Captivity, a thriller starring Alicia Cuthbert, and also Don Cheadle and Taraji P. Henson among the cast in Talk to Me by Cassie Lemons. So we'll take a look at those three movies. That'll be coming up on tomorrow's show. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please go ahead and hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification button, and the bell, because you get updates on when new videos come out, and we do post new videos here every day. Now, with all that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.